Now, Kevin, to pose the question to you, are you convinced that Matt Stafford is good enough to win a Super Bowl for the Rams?
I think Matt Stafford has shown in this last month, obviously the playoffs, that he is able to lead a team to a Super Bowl. Here's why. Matt Stafford has always been a person to give it their all. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Most quarterbacks, most NFL players, most athletes are, right? That's not true. Matt Stafford played in probably one of the worst places that you can in the NFL, and that's the Detroit Lions. Is it his fault that he got drafted there? No. Is it his fault that he stood? Potentially, but that's loyalty, hoping that things could change, maybe turn it around, had a couple of playoff berths here and there. But you can never say that Matt Stafford quit. You can never say that he badmouthed his teammates and all of those good things. So when it became present or it became aware or known that Matt Stafford was going to be traded to LA, the narrative was simply, is he worth all of this real estate? And by real estate, I mean 2 first round picks, obviously future things, and Jared Goff and all these other things that the Rams had to give up to get him. Now, you make a trade like that, which is a blockbuster trade, and you say it's Super Bowl or bust. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's Super Bowl or bust for everybody every single year. No, when you invest your entire future in basically what's the equivalent of 3 or 4 players, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, obviously Matt Stafford, and a couple of other players that they had to go and acquire to create this Super Rams team, you're giving away your whole future to win right now. And right now, this is the final step. They have made it to the Super Bowl. They have overcome the deficit that they had to and falling down to the 4th seed in the playoffs. So they actually went out and achieved the goal that was set in front of them that people expected them to reach. But like any other team in the league, they had their doubts. Matt Stafford showed poise, showed confidence, the ability to make the good throws, the ability to throw the ball away and make good decisions. He had an interception early on in this game, but he was able to bounce back, throw for 337, 2 touchdowns, and was only sacked twice. He made efficient and good throws. He made good reads, and he was able to throw people open. Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., what a tandem those two are going to end up being for the foreseeable future if Odell ends up re-signing with LA. But for most of this team, it is their first Super Bowl appearance, outside of the few that are still on the team from Super Bowl 53. But Matthew Stafford has always been mechanically an amazing quarterback to go out there and make great plays. But now he has the supporting cast around him that he was missing and lacking in Detroit for the last decade. So as of right now, it's showing that the trade was worth it. It is showing that Matthew Stafford proved to be worth every single aspect of it. Now the only thing left to do is beat Joe Burrow and conquer and capture the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Kev, the way that you laid it out, I thought it was well done. But when I look at Matt Stafford, I want to focus on this NFC Championship game because it showed me something different about Matt Stafford. Because at first, this game did not go the Rams' way. Like you stated, Matt Stafford got picked off in the red zone early on in this game. And despite the fact that I think the Rams were favored to win this game over the 49ers gave them everything that they could handle. I mean, at one point, the 49ers were up 17-7 in the fourth quarter. It was a 10-point deficit. And despite the fact that Matt Stafford was able to kind of move the ball up and down the field for that Rams offense, it wasn't resulting in points until the fourth quarter. That to me is when Matt Stafford was able to make the plays that needed to be made and rise above the occasion. And I think he did it flawlessly. Just because it's like you said, with all of those expectations on his shoulders after getting traded from Detroit to go to LA, LA is investing their short term future in Matt Stafford, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey. Like these guys need to be able to perform. But Matt Stafford, he is really the crown piece. He's the crown jewel in this huge investment to try to win now with this current Rams roster. And the guy that they ended up trading for, he made the plays that needed to be made. Just because in that fourth quarter, he was money. He was hitting up Odell Beckham with some nice passes. He was hitting up Cooper Kupp with nice passes. And even their backup tight end, because when Tyler Higbee went down, they only had one tight end left on the active roster. And even he was able to get some targets from Matt Stafford that they were able to cash in on. So to me, he showed poise when the pressure was really starting to mount in that fourth quarter. and he excelled. He did not succumb to the pressure, and he was able to get the Rams at the scoring position, able to make it a 3-point game on that second Cooper Cup touchdown. And then, even though that they weren't able to get any more touchdowns after that, Matt Stafford was still able to drive that team down into field goal range where Matt Gay would knock in not just one field goal, he would knock in two, the second one being the game winning one. So, Matt Stafford, he's in a great position right now. Looking forward to what's in front of him 2 weeks from now. Listen, he's in his home stadium. There's a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of relief knowing that you don't have to travel to, halfway across the country or to the other side of the country. So you get to stay home for 2 weeks. You get to relax for a week a little bit. And then you focus on Cincinnati going into next week, going into the Super Bowl week. So all in all, Matt Stafford has played up to snuff for the Rams. He proved it in this game against the 49ers, and he has a great opportunity to essentially seal that not only is he a good quarterback, that he's a championship caliber quarterback, and that he needs to be regarded as one if the Rams were able to beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 56. So really all I could say about Matt Stafford right now is that the trade was worth it to get him out of Detroit, but there are still higher aspirations that I think he's looking for, and that's just how I see it.